This is the NewsFeed at noon.
Who was the so-called winner and loser after Tuesday's debate? Or is there really an honest way to decide? And the suspected I-75 shooter is still evading police in the mountains of Kentucky. We'll bring you the latest on the search. Plus, a hairstylist remembers her sister in a very special way. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm John Patterson, and you're watching the NewsFeed. First on the docket today, we're going to go to Lauren in the studio with our weather forecast. Lauren?
Right now, we're looking at a comfortable 88 degrees, but that's slowly going to creep up as we move into the afternoon. Clear skies, that high of 97. This time last year, we saw a high of 82. So we're already experiencing higher temperatures than that seasonal norm for September in Texas. UV index of 9. Anytime we get those higher digits, 8, 9, 10, it's important to remember that those rays can be very damaging to the skin. Across the Metroplex, you'll see consistent temperatures, high 80s, low 90s. The coolest out in Longview at 85. Tomorrow morning is going to be a little bit cooler, and we'll start to see that pattern unfold as we move toward winter. 77 in Fort Worth and in Dallas. Coming up, we'll look at the triple-digit temperatures this weekend, as well as that tropical storm path, followed by that full 7-day forecast.
Reports of sexual harassment, sexual assault, and stalking more than doubled at TCC during the 2023-24 academic year, according to Title IX data. The Title IX District Office received 263 reports during the 2023-24 academic year, compared to 117 reports in 2022-23. The Title IX data summary released on September 5th shows 6.34 reports were documented out of every 1,000 students. TCC police received 17 reports of stalking from July 30th to August 22nd. 8 were at Northeast, 3 at Northwest, 3 at South, 2 at Trinity River, and 1 being at Southeast. Neither TCC police nor the district Title IX office would comment. For more than 45 years, I'm hearing something.
Keep going.
For more than 45 years, Mary Williams used French to engage students in a meaningful learning environment. Williams recently retired as the World Language Department chair here at the Northeast campus. Strong connections with students and faculty marked her time at TCC. She started teaching French when a professor asked her to teach a couple of classes while she was on medical leave. Mary Williams was completing her master's in linguistics at the time and had not thought about teaching. She said she didn't realize how fun it was going to be. Mary Williams, congratulations on your retirement on TCC, and best wishes to you. On Wednesday, millions of people worldwide reflected on that horrible morning of September 11th, 2001. At that time, TCC's very own Seth Cruz worked as a New York City police officer and tries to explain the unimaginable.
It was a difficult and trying and emotional time. My son was born, my youngest son, Austin, was born November of that year, and I didn't really get to see my newborn son. And I got to, only when I get home, he would be sleeping, I'd get to see him, and then straight to bed, because I'd had to be back at the station the following evening at 6 p.m. So those first few months, I really didn't get to see a lot of the things that parents are accustomed to with their young infant children. And it was just an emotionally draining time, and it took a toll on my body. The awesome unity and the way police officers gathered together and encouraged one another, and even across the agencies with firefighters, and it was just a really beautiful thing to see as the agencies came together to serve one another, to serve the city, the people of New York. And every once in a while, when you would report to duty, there would be people that would be clapping, and it felt good. And so I felt that there was a reward from a sense of appreciation and affirmation of the work that we were doing. And I'll never forget that, as long as I live, the kind of gratitude that I felt from the New Yorkers and oftentimes New Yorkers get a bad rap as being high-strung and rude and agenda orientated and always running from here and there. And it's true most of the time, but New Yorkers do have a heart, and they do care for one another. And I got to see the soft underbelly of the city of New York and the citizens of the greatest city in the world, and a police department that I served for over 20 years. And so even today, just recently with the anniversary of 9/11, it still evokes feelings of anger, of frustration, of sadness, a whole mix of emotions. But yet I am very, very happy that I had the opportunity to serve during that time, to serve the people of New York and to serve my fellow officers, many of whom are still currently working. I took a 20-year service retirement, and I relocated to the wonderful state of Texas to find a quality of life so that my sons, who are all in college, I'm having a great time here serving the Tarrant County College Police Department and the wonderful students and the faculty and the staff of this great academic institution. And I'm looking forward to continue to serve with distinction and to serve the wonderful people around me. And it's those are the story. That's my story about 9/11. A somber moment in American history, but yet we were able to come together and help one another and be the people that we always want to be, Americans, proud of being in the uniform and the NYPD and being here. It's my life call and my passion, and I really enjoy it.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Of course.
Yes. Have you ever asked for help yourself?
It's always tough, right?
I always feel like I can solve my own problems, but eventually, you just can't deal with it on your own.
And you start to question, maybe people would be better off without me. When you realize that you're not alone, once you take that first step, there's so much support.
See it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Tuesday night was the first and potentially only head-to-head debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, giving voters the opportunity to hear directly from the candidates. And while this debate covered policy points from both candidates, their attacks on each other took center stage.
An historic first meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris may have started with a handshake.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate. Thank you.
But the gloves quickly came off.
What we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
She doesn't have a plan.
Harris drawing contrast with Trump by framing herself as an advocate for the middle class and framing her opponent as in it only for himself.
Donald Trump has no plan for you.
While Trump attempted to tie Harris to President Joe Biden's record,
The people of our country are
absolutely dying with what they've done.
In a wide-ranging debate, the two clashed over a number of critical issues, from reproductive rights.
We did something that everybody said couldn't be done, and now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade.
To immigration and border security.
Why hasn't she done it? They've had 3.5 years to fix the border.
What we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
To their visions of and for the country.
We all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward.
Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation, and it happened 3.5 years ago.
In Philadelphia, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Wednesday marked the 23rd anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. Both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump paused their official campaigning to attend tributes to the thousands of victims. Our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook shows us how the presidential candidates spent the day.
Hours after meeting on the debate stage, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris meet again. This time for a somber moment, the anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. Surrounded by other leaders, including President Joe Biden and Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, the two candidates shook hands before the ceremony at Ground Zero in New York. Putting political hostilities aside for a moment as the nation remembers the tragedy.
I know a lot of us are feeling very strong emotions, and it's a political time. This is not about politics. Thank you for having this service for our beloved family members.
Nearly 3,000 people were killed when terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airliners on September 11th, 2001. 2 planes crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. Another plane was crashed into the Pentagon, and the 4th crashed into a field in rural Pennsylvania after passengers tried to thwart the hijacking.
Thank you to the first responders, the United States military, and those who continue to fight the war on terror every day. Please pray for those still suffering from the effects of 9/11 and the families left with the void. God bless America. United we stand.
After their rare joint appearance in the morning, Harris and Trump each made other visits to mark the 23rd anniversary of the attacks. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
No one has claimed the most recent Mega Millions jackpot yet. That winning ticket was sold here in Texas, but someone in New Jersey bought a ticket worth $1.1 billion back in March that hasn't been claimed. Winners in the Garden State have up to a year to claim their prizes. It's not known why someone would wait that long, since the state also allows winners to remain anonymous. If the jackpot isn't claimed in time, every state that participates in the lottery will get back the amount they contributed. And a grueling manhunt stretched into day 6 as authorities said they believe Joseph Couch retreated deep into a forested swath of southeastern Kentucky. Couch, a former Army reservist, went on a shooting spree along I-75 this past weekend. Police are using helicopters and drones equipped with infrared technology, while special response teams and trained dogs are tracking him across thousands of acres likened to a jungle. Troopers are hacking through thick vegetation with machetes and scouring the cliffsides and caves for any sign they're advancing closer.
It's very treacherous terrain, and it takes time, but we're going to clear that area, and then after we clear this area, then we may have to expand and tailor our activities going forward.
High school football games in the neighboring towns are canceling their games this evening until suspected shooter Joseph Couch is captured. Jeremy Toombs reports.
The search for mass shooting suspect Joseph A. Couch continued Wednesday, leading area schools to cancel classes once again. We've now learned the manhunt will shut off Friday night lights across southern Kentucky as well.
He's considered armed and dangerous, and so, you got to take precaution.
Coach John Hines' South Laurel team, as well as North Laurel and Corbin Independent, each called their games off, creating a ripple effect for opponents like Madison Central.
It affects a lot more than just the kids playing, including our band and our dance teams and cheerleaders. You know, they prep and they work just as hard as anybody else.
Let's go. Coach William Blair says they were supposed to host North Laurel on a special night, celebrating the old Madison High School.
That's the big show that everybody comes to, and we're sad that we're not going to be able to do that.
Coach Blair is keeping his kids active day by day, but as we get towards Friday night, the possibility grows greater that they can't find an opponent. His players will be left sidelined and these stands will sit empty.
It won't be for a lack of effort.
We checked with Ohio, started looking at Tennessee, see what was available down there.
But it's another unfortunate result of a tense week.
There's been no school, there's been no practice, there's been no meetings, and then when that's upset, it's just really hard to bounce back from that.
These coaches hope they can bounce back as a whole, that the search finds its resolution, and their games can soon play a part in helping restore normalcy to the region.
Whenever it does happen, we're going to be thrilled and hit the ground running.
After the break, Lauren has the weekend forecast and our rain chances, if there are any. We'll be back.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
See you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
When I came back from the war, I was barely hanging on by a thread. I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love.
Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
Welcome back to the news feed, where we now go to Lauren in the studio for our weekend forecast.
That's right, John. Right now, we're at 88 degrees, clear skies. The real feel is more like 92 or 93, and that's only going to get warmer as we move into the afternoon. Across the Metroplex, high 80s, low 90s. Down south, the warmest in Waco at 90. Out east, the coolest in Longview at 85. That's due to that precipitation they saw as an aftermath of Francine as it moved toward the Texas-Louisiana border. Now, tomorrow morning, a different story. At 8 a.m., we'll see those temperatures start to drop significantly. High 70s, even low 70s, really out east in Longview and Athens. That's a pattern we'll start to see until winter rolls around. We'll see warmer temperatures in the afternoon and evening, a significant drop overnight, and then cooler temps into the early morning. The rest of today, we'll have clear skies. We'll hit that high around 4 p.m. at 97, and we'll slowly cool off into the evening. Tomorrow, we'll hit 100 degrees for the high, low of 75. That overcast may help alleviate some of that heat and humidity, but not by much, especially when it's followed by Sunday with clear skies. Technically a high of 99, but with that real feel, it's going to feel more like 102, 103, maybe even 104. Taking a look at Francine's path over the past few days, the DFW area really did not experience any direct impact. We did see some precipitation the middle part of this week. It moved up north through Louisiana and hit a little bit of Memphis before it died out. Again, those storm systems weaken significantly as it hits land and continues to move inward. John, looking at the next 7 days, you'll notice those temperatures, both the highs and the lows, start to slowly decrease as we move farther into fall. Monday, high of 95, will stay there till about Wednesday, high of 94, and then get cooler toward the weekend with highs of 92 and 91. Not much cloud cover, no precipitation is expected. Those sunny skies on Sunday are perfect for that Cowboys game against the Ravens.
All right, thank you, Lauren. A federal grand jury has awarded $50 million to a man wrongly convicted of murder. Marcel Brown sued the city of Chicago, alleging he was coerced into making a false confession to a 2008 murder. He ended up serving 10 years in prison before his sentence was vacated in 2018. According to the lawsuit, the police officers investigating the murder deprived Brown of sleep and food. He was also allegedly not allowed to meet with his lawyer.
Things for the future is, I hope to take care of my family. I hope to do the right thing, live a life, enjoy my freedom. I really don't know because I didn't expect that much. So I just want to live life.
In 2 minutes, you'll want to hear this story from South Carolina. Making people feel good is what Denise Hammond does best. Stay with us.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Hey, boss. Okay?
He said I'm fine.
With the first did, Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now, I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
A tow truck driver in San Antonio is under investigation after towing a car with a 5-year-old girl inside. Police say the car was legally towed from a private parking lot, but it's illegal to tow a car with someone inside. Zach Briggs has the story.
Scary situation for a San Antonio mother. It took only 5 minutes and her daughter was gone in a towed vehicle. But thankfully, due to a good Samaritan, she was found just 3 miles away in this tow yard.
She was crying. She was screaming.
Gilbert Ramirez had just finished doing his laundry when he noticed a screaming pregnant mother on property of the La Scala apartments of Blanco Road.
I said, what's wrong, man? See my baby.
We caught up with Dolores Bueso, who helplessly watched as her car was being towed away with her 5-year-old sick daughter inside. She tried flagging down the tow truck driver, but it was too late.
I wouldn't want that to happen to my daughter, you know, or anybody's daughter.
Bueso, who also lives at the complex, tells us she was gone 5 minutes or less to see if a family member was home. The car's hazard lights and AC left on. Police say that's all it took for Trinity Towing to take the vehicle, although it wasn't properly hooked. Ramirez and Bueso briefly pursued.
Pulled over on West Avenue in Blanco, and I called the police officer. And then I called the fire department because she couldn't stop crying because my baby, my niña. So I said, look, everything's gonna be all right. You know, calm down.
At the tow yard, Bueso's little girl was safely recovered. SAPD now investigating the circumstances, stressing it's illegal to tow a car with someone inside. When trying to speak with Trinity Towing on site, we got zero response. And according to police, Trinity Towing is cooperating with the investigation. The tow truck driver potentially faces a charge of endangering a child. Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
Denise Hammond has been styling hair for 25 years in South Carolina, but she also does something else. She makes it. After watching her sister fight and ultimately succumb to cancer, Hammond decided to start making wigs. Her philosophy is when you look good, you feel good. That's why this military veteran started Wigs for Warriors. But you don't have to serve to get one of Hammond's wigs. In her world, a warrior is any woman who is battling hair loss for any reason.
Battling cancer, that you're gonna lose probably your hair during chemo. So when my friend came to me and told me what was going on with her, I knew that I could pick up her spirits, I could make her feel better about herself.
Keep it here. The news feed at noon will be back.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay. Judy.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
When I came back from the war, I was barely hanging on by a thread. I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to
Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
A 74-year-old Colorado man is grateful to be alive thanks to the employees at a recreation center in Centennial. During his visit, the elderly man suffered a heart attack and a team of people, including a deputy, jumped into action to save his life. Ashley Portillo has more from the local heroes.
When an emergency happens, those first few seconds and minutes are crucial.
How long have you been down for?
Travis Toller was the first Trails Rec Center employee to arrive at the man's side.
And I took his pulse and checked for any kind of breathing signs of life and immediately determined he had no pulse and he wasn't breathing.
One employee then called 911 while the others jumped into action.
I gloved up and we got ready for CPR and I immediately took over compression.
3 other staff members responded, including Christina Neely.
I jumped in and started performing the rescue breaths for this person.
One employee connected the AED, the others were on chest compressions, and the 4th providing ventilation.
I'm thinking about the quality of what I'm doing, making sure my compression depth was good and that I was at the right rate.
We just kept reassessing and reassessing, trying to figure out if we were doing the next right step.
Then Arapahoe County Deputy Jeremy Kurzinger showed up.
Hey, let me take over.
We started working as a team. I just jumped in as a 5th man to relieve that person doing chest compressions.
The group worked together until paramedics arrived and took over.
I remember South Metro looked at me and they're like, we're going to be transporting him. We have a pulse. I was like, okay, awesome, great.
Deputy Kurzinger credits the rec center staff for saving the man's life.
And for them to see this and just step up to the plate is what's heroic to me.
So I was very thankful for all the training that I've had that allowed us to know what we needed to do next.
And it wasn't long before the survivor walked through the rec center doors once again.
It's like Christmas morning, honestly, seeing him here healthy, back at our facility. There's just no way to describe it.
Thank you, Ashley. And with that, we're at the end of our broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the News Feed at noon.